saw nod over
Yeah.
there.
I nodded, I thought he had it
Well,
on.
no wonder he's feisty, he's got the hammer.
Okay. We're gonna go with the roll call.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was still on show.
Bob DeCruff. Here. Peter Gaffer.
Present.
Lori Ganol is excused. John Guy. Not here. Absent. Ben Lepley. Here. Doug Taylor. Here. Theodore Schriever.
Ted, here.
Ted, yes, I'm reading it now.
Yeah, I know, that's okay, that's okay.
And Frank Davis is excused. And we have the staff liaison, Emmanuel Stewart.
It's me.
And we have Miss Nina Williams, the deputy city clerk, Esquire. Okay, I'm going to call to the public. Does anyone from the public have anything to say regarding anything that's not on this agenda? Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes. Nobody from the, here, we got somebody coming in.
Yeah.
It's Joe. Hi, Joe. Yeah, today's his last day, I think.
No, next Wednesday.
Oh, next Wednesday. Oh, we have time. Okay, and Joe Ward, building inspector, is here. Okay, agenda item number 1, old business. The location, well, there's several locations on essentially Main Street. It's, the contributing has no bearing on this. It's on public property, Mark Gray, representative, and the description of the work is directory signage to Subway Street. Mark, do you want to come up and speak to that?
Sure. Is this all right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's a total of 3 signs contemplated, just to draw attention to visitors, not really locals, we know where we are, to the options on Subway Street. We have several shops open. We had been through this one time before. There was a partial approval on a sign on Main Street that, I think it's location number 2.
1.
Is it 1?
It's 1.
Okay, 1.
I believe it's 1.
And that's a pedestrian walkway next to the bank there. It's a short distance to Subway Street. And that one was approved, just the directory portion, so it's not listing the individual businesses there. So Doug, you at that meeting pointed out that maybe there are other better locations perhaps. And I think the best location for a sign directing anybody in town is the road into town. So where the convention center, I think it's called, not the official name, on the building, where the main road comes in and then you turn around the convention center and keep going. I think visually what I'd like to do is get an awareness that there are shops straight ahead but not get cars going straight ahead. Ideally it should be pedestrianized, I think, in the future at some point. But for now, I'd like to get attention, people saying, hey, shops are this way, take your car that way, but shops are this way, remember, walk back. And putting that into a sign is what I'd like to do for that location. I submitted several options that I think are definitely the purview of this group because it is the design that we're looking at on these to convey that message. The other sign location, the third sign location, I thought was the other entrance to Subway Street. The difficulty there is that you definitely don't want cars going from Main Street down that road. It's one-way street. And so I think, yeah, that summarizes where we are now.
Okay. Thank you. We'll have a call to the public for public comment. Anybody here to comment on this? Okay, we'll move on. Staff comments?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm not getting in that.
1 week to go. And then we'll open the board discussion. No more public comments beyond this point. Yes, Ben?
I have a question. The signs, what material will they be, and are they gonna be computer printed or hand painted?
All my signs are steel and hand painted.
Okay.
Where'd you steal them from?
He's got one more week. Tip your waiter.
So you'll be using, there is one really good sign painter in Bisbee, I forget his name. You guys know his name?
Is it
Miller?
Steve?
Steve Miller?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, Steve Miller's good.
And I bring that up just because these designs are you know, kind of copy paste, and I think an artist like Steve Miller would do the same concept, but it'd look really nice.
Agreed, these were totally pilfered from the internet.
Yeah.
They look good. I have a question, Mark. I do think that makes it confusing I think it's number 3, further up on Main Street where the subway, to have an arrow going that way, I was really concerned that people are gonna think they can make that right turn. And also, I was concerned about whether the Legion and the Werner were gonna wanna be, you know, on something out that way. They're really not included on the shops, kind of, and they're not really shops. One's a bar, one's a hotel. But I think that one is a tough one to kind of conceptualize as being a safety issue on town property. The other one on where Subway branches off from Main Street, and I kind of agree with you on the pedestrian mall. I'd love to see that, maybe with bollards that can break down so fire can get in there. And Shearer, I don't know what we'd do about Shearer, but there'd have to be something. It might landlock your property. But that one, I think, already, as we come up, we see that Subway's going off as a street. And I know that even in the photos that you provided, those signs it used to be an eclectic mess of signs. Also, I should say that sign that you put on the building that you had gotten approval for, I think last fall, looks really good. I think that's great. But I just think that Subway sign going up Subway may also be distracting, but that is for everybody to decide. But that was my question or that wasn't really a question, I guess it was my comment that those two signs, I think the one that goes down the alley helps because no car is going to go down there. It's a pedestrian thing. It drives traffic towards the shops on Subway. But the other two I'm not sure about, but I'd like to hear what other people have to say. Thank you.
I have a question regarding, I know this is just, but 9 foot, that looked like it was really low, a lot lower than that, and I know that's not a brick, that's a radiation.
Yeah, it's covering the stop sign that's presently there.
Yeah.
It's just sort of overlaid on top, but yeah, I understand it'd have to be 9 feet.
That's right, yeah, there's, yeah, just making sure that we're on that.
It's actually close, I think, in that drawing to 9 feet. It's pretty close.
Really, okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any more comment on it?
No, let me repeat what I said last time. It's a wonderful idea to get these signs in. I don't want to get into the weeds on the details. I don't absolutely agree that I think it would be a distraction from motorists, particularly since, you know, these are painted signs. They're not really vehicular directional signs, so I don't see a problem there. Again, the final appearance would be subject to, I don't know, maybe some more discussion, I don't know, maybe not. I get the idea that maybe we squeezed on shops and restaurants, that might be a way of covering the American Legion and other things, because it is shops and restaurants.
I view those as shops, a beer hall and a hotel, I'd call that a shop. I don't know,
Yeah,
I don't think that that would be an upsetting distinction for them.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that having too much information on there is helpful. I think directing people to another shopping area is a good thing, but it would concern me if we started to put a whole lot of stuff on there and somebody's driving whatever that, I bet it's 25 miles an hour on that street, maybe, and 20, and they're trying to read this sign. It's not a good safety thing, but yeah, if it's just a directional, I think Peter's right, that it's not that distracting, except that would it be something, I'm just thinking, could it be, like, I'm thinking up where you make, well, it points right against the one-way street. I was wondering if that could be on, there's no building there that it could be on. That one worries me, the right hand,
I think-
pointing down a one-way street the wrong way.
And, you know, we could cut that one off, because in my opinion, that is the least valuable location. So if that's the most egregious, then I say we all agree to just focus on the,
The
I think,
Warner might disagree with that.
Yeah,
I think 1 and 2 are the most appropriate. You know, and what you put on your building looks fantastic.
yeah.
And
1 is already approved, so we're really talking about 2.
2, I would say 2, yeah, on 3, I just dropped that one.
Does anybody else have a comment?
Yeah, maybe a question. Is our intent to have the graphics to be the same, or these are different, or what?
different.
Yeah, to me, there's something really charming about them, and I think they, excuse my voice,
Minsky?
I think they add a lot to the location and the feel of Old Bisbee. You know, when you look at the old pictures, which you have here, Brewery Gulch, which is sort of an exaggeration, right? But I think that's pretty neat. And I think those people need help. You know, I drive by there all the time and it's pretty quiet. And it's not just for drivers, I think it's people walking. It's sort of a forgotten street in a way.
If I may say something anecdotal,
Sure.
one of the tenants was looking to leave on the basis that business wasn't very good, especially in the winter, serving a cold product. They now would like to stay beyond summer, and because business has picked up because of the signage, same product, but we have a sign, so I think signs help.
And as an aside, since you brought that up, I know the young lady that was here that night, I think is from that business. They still have that, what do they call the
A-frame.
A-frame sign out on the street, on Main Street, which I have a differing opinion than the law on that one, but it does seem disingenuous to a certain extent. I would like to think that if we approve this, that sign doesn't have to be there, but I know that you have tenants that need to, you know, make some sales.
And I don't issue permission on what they can or.
No, I understand. I wasn't trying, that's why I was just bringing it as a
But
sign.
the need for that sign, I think, would evaporate. And more good news is I'll stop asking for signs after.
No,
This is my final
I'm sorry,
statement.
Mark, we don't believe that, but meeting 14 of the signs. Go ahead.
I would say that, as an architect, who's visited cities like Hong Kong, where there's lots of neon everywhere, and looking at these old photos, which were lots of neon back then too, the table, you know, I would say, put some, you know, allow a tenant to purchase some neon for underneath that canopy, because that'll really attract the eyes and look classic. That's just my design opinion, but, you know, that would probably be on a per tenant
Can
basis.
it be on Subway Street?
I think he's meaning sheer. You mean the canopy
The-
that you walk under?
Yeah, the covered sidewalk.
Yeah.
Well, you have a sign that's new, I see a couple things hang out, brackets, and that
Yeah.
one for grassy, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That you can see out, I
But
think
they're
that
hard
was
to
great.
see, they're hard to see because it's shaded, it's dark.
the lighting is
I
not
don't
good.
know.
It's not like classic, you know?
I actually agree with you, you can't read it during certain times of the day. I blame it on the lighting, and I think we could fairly blame it partly on the sign itself.
Dark green.
The paint, whatever, reflectivity is such that sometimes it just looks like a silver octagon.
Yeah, it's not a bad sign, but I can see that it would be troublesome at certain points. So, I guess we need clarification on what the graphics are going to look like.
Can I push that on you guys to say which ones you like? I think they're all adequate for my intention, but, I mean, I have a favorite, I did list my favorite on there,
F and H are his favorites.
but it's a menu.
Yeah, so you gave us, okay, so that's good. The thing I think that Mr. Lepley was saying was, maybe a sign painter would look to do something a little different, or,
Better.
you know,
Yeah.
we could
You're saying-
pass one of these.
Are you saying something totally different than what's here?
I don't think so, but something maybe a little more historic looking. Although these
More
hands-
deviant from what you've put up on your building already, those are
Okay,
fantastic.
I could have the same guy do it, that's what I would normally do. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah.
I think they look really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an artist painting it who's from town,
Yeah.
that does good work. I mean,
This fellow's from Tombstone who did the big sign. I would almost not like it if you gave me carte blanche to do whatever I wanted to do.
What? You're the first person who ever said that.
Yeah, I feel like my best work is in front of you, and if it all is that bad, then I'm gonna need some direction on which direction to go, because that's my best stab.
All right,
I like this.
I like H.
H, I think, would be the one I would,
All right,
yeah.
I'll go with that.
so we make a motion to approve the application
For number 2.
for number 2, sign number 2, using some artistic, what am I looking for? Interpretation of number H, of Exhibit H. Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Are we good with
Is
that?
that a motion, Nina?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that good with you, Mike? Is that?
That's
Makes sense?
great, I love
Okay.
it.
Excellent.
Okay. And Bob seconds. Mark, what's the significance of the guy with the cane? Just an
It
arcade?
says walk here, don't drive here,
Yeah.
and it looks historic, that's
I like
like
The historic looking dapper guy.
How many
Okay, and I like the
shoulders?
walk to the shops better, you know, it looks like it's more of a, it might be setting itself up for a pedestrian. mode.
And the cane and the hat kind of say this is from a long time ago, and the cane adds a little theatric movement to the
Yes.
image.
Yeah, okay, that's
All
good.
right,
Good job.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
We haven't voted yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Let's vote on that.
Well, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah, so all in favor, I forgot about that, I thought we were going somewhere.
Aye.
Okay, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I was gonna say nay, but there's just about whether there's anyone opposed.
Can I make a related comment?
Yes.
There's so much shit on that street, excuse my language. Like the one-way sign isn't even a one-way sign anymore, it's just covered. And I think that's gonna detract from the good work he's trying to do. Maybe that's not our problem, but somebody ought to go in there and clean the place up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not your purpose.
Yeah, no, I know, that's interesting.
But maybe it's a recommendation for another committee.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably that committee, but somebody'd have to come with a plan.
I think that sign's changed a number of times a year. It just gets you know, tagged in stickers on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stickers on that street,
It
yeah,
happens quick.
yeah. Can we put on the record that Mr. Rodriguez is also here?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, 2 Main Street. It's a contributing building, commercial. Mr. Page is the proprietor, and it was about a swamp cooler.
Yes.
Are we tabling?
So, no.
Oh,
Well, you can if you want after we.
no, I thought maybe that he wasn't coming or something.
Well, I don't think he's coming, but the problem that we had was he sent me a drawing. And to be honest with you, I didn't understand what it was.
Nor did I.
Is it all in our packet that looks like he didn't change it?
Well, it just was just an outline of the building. So I had him speak with Javier about clarifications. So maybe after Javier speaks, maybe the board makes a motion with clear instructions
Okay.
to Mr. Page, if it can be.
Okay,
He was just confused of what was really wanting to do. We were clear on just continuing this going up, and he just still didn't understand.
okay. There wasn't time for getting that clarification. Do we have any comments first? Do we have any, since we don't have the representative here, no comments from the public?
Nope.
Staff comments, go ahead, Mr. Rodriguez.
I think we just move with the same design all the way up still.
Okay.
Continue with that.
Okay, so is there something we can do, and I'm out of order, I know, but is there something we can do to help him figure it out?
Well, he said that the motion that was given was not clear to him, which I explained to him that he was to come back with a design of the louvers down below, what it looked like down below, he was to do up top.
Okay, so it was clear.
Well, I thought it was clear,
Yeah.
he did not, and Javi tried to explain it to him, but I don't think he still
Okay.
was understanding what we wanted, because we don't want the fence that was,
No,
yeah, you didn't want this.
yeah,
We said to do this, but up here
yeah.
Yeah.
is,
Just
but
to
I
kinda
thought that was
continue the
clear
wall.
enough,
I
but
thought
maybe so. Not, but we can table it again, and
Yeah.
we can go back to Mr. Page and say, what's here needs to be done up here.
I could meet him in person there, and we can.
Yeah, maybe you could bring,
At least echo it, it's not gonna be rigidly the same.
No, but, yeah.
But a horizontal louvered theme rather than
right, and that's what I tried to,
yeah,
we tried to say, the new louvers
Right.
should match the ones below.
and that louver system on the bottom, to me, looked like something out of the catalog or off the shelf. I thought that was something that could just easily be purchased, build a little wall there to look like the stucco wall, and it seems simple. Apparently not, so let's table it, and,
We'll need a motion to table it, and
Okay.
then Javier, I'll just remind you with an email to speak to Mr. Page.
okay, I move that we table item number 2, application number 23-123, and until we can get further information to and from Mr. Page.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Again, nay? None, okay. Item number 3. 23-125, is that 6 or 5?
Five.
Bye.
That's 5, okay. 37A Moon Canyon, also known as 58 Moon Canyon. It is a contributing structure, residential, and I guess we tabled this application previously on January 10th. Do we have the applicant here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please state your name.
My name is Douglas Tello, and I live at 37A. And done a lot of projects up in that end of the Moon Canyon. This is something that I've always wanted to do, which is build a post and beam structure. And eventually, as we get older, we're probably going to be selling the property that's across the street where my shop is currently in the garage. So this is looking down the road as I'm gonna need a shop, always gonna need a shop. I try to keep it using the elements that I really admire around town. So we've got the Dutch gable ends on the building. There always was a structure of some sort on that spot, looking at the original town plot maps. And if you see the one picture that I took of the current structure, you can see it's basically being held erect by a come-along. And it's made out of old telephone cross ties, which is kind of interesting in its own right. And I hope to use some of those as decorative things inside the structure. It's basically a straightforward, it's 16 by 16, it fits in a little nook that's right there. I built a 3.5 foot tall retaining wall to stiffen everything up. Had a lot of fun doing that, building it right around a tree that's right there. So it's going to be a sweet little place. It'll have, because I am going up with the footers, I can use, everything can be 8 foot 6 by 6s that I can purchase right from Lowe's. Then I can go nuts with my joinery and pegging on them. You can see some of the joints that are going to be involved with it, which will keep me happy. I'm an ex-boat builder, so it's something, I've been looking forward to this. I run it by Joel. He had one addition that I have to add to the plans that I'll make sure is amended when I come to you for the building permit if it's allowed. Those 2x4 structures or the framing structures for the windows that are on the front and the side that were not included in the original drawings that you have. I was concentrating on the timber frame structure. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But
Thank you.
here we are.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? No. Staff comments?
I like it.
Okay. Board discussion? Any comments from the board?
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
I can't read all the detail on this, but
Yeah, I thought maybe that's why I couldn't either,
Yeah,
but when we got the
this is going to be enclosed now, right? Rather than-
Pardon?
This is going to be enclosed,
Yes.
and what type of siding?
It'll be, I really like the hardy siding, and I'll turn it so that the grain side is in, so you have smooth. I understand that's something that's been required now. Corrugated metal roof. I really like that, particularly with the fire suppression. All the places that I've built up there have all been metal roof, hardy siding. Basically because it gives you an extra 20 minutes if you have a brush fire going by, and that's just enough time for the brush fire to go by without burning the house down. So that's why I like it. Also, it doesn't warp, crack, or split, and takes paint beautifully. I'm really a fan of it. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments?
No, well, I like it too. I certainly admire what the applicant's proposing for the construction there. That actually will be hidden, so we won't get to see your beautiful joinery, but
We'll be able to go inside.
yeah, it'll be nice inside.
Yeah, you can
No,
see.
I think it's, I understand why you want to do it. I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Bisbee has been my opportunity to indulge myself on all the projects that I was never allowed to do back home.
Well, I think that's actually a Bisbee thing. Well, the only thing I was concerned about was, this is just a shed, it won't have any.
I'm going to put a small bathroom in it,
boat building.
so I don't have to keep running back to the house.
Okay.
I have no plans other than that. It'll basically be a boat head, which is 3 by 4, basically a shooting gallery. You
Right.
Go in there and have a sink, yeah.
Okay, and that, I assume that the setbacks and all that are correct, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, any more board discussion? Okay, we have a motion?
Sure, I'm happy to make a motion for application number 23-125, approved as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
I apologize, who seconded that? Thank you.
Mr. Ted. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, new business.
If you'll give us 1 second to call the applicant or the representative
Okay.
before we go on. Hi Melanie, this is Nina with the City of Bisbee. Hi, we're about to start your item. Hold on just one moment. Can you hear us? Yes. Okay.
Okay, agenda item number 4, application number 2404. That's just, is this the first one in 24?
Uh-huh.
930 Sims Road, contributing residential. The owner is Lori Reynolds, who's on the phone now, I believe.
No, Melanie is the representative from the solar company.
Oh, okay, Melanie is from the solar company, which is Forever, Freedom Forever.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's see, we want to hear what you have to say about the design.
Okay.
Go ahead. I think you're on microphone here.
We're gonna put solar panels on the roof?
Okay?
Yep.
I'm a little confused. I don't know if I've never done this before, so I'm
She
not sure
hasn't.
you're asking.
So
Go ahead.
we're at a public meeting, so there's a design review board, there's 5 of us here, we've got some city folks here, and so this is your chance to present the project to us, the board, so we can approve the design, or not approve the design, or do partial approval. And then after that, you can get your building permits if it's approved. So this is a public meeting, and just pretend you're standing up at the podium in front of a mic.
Okay, so we're gonna put 14 panels on the east side of the roof. That's our design plan.
Okay. Anything further, is that it?
We have our normal electric equipment that's gonna go on the wall. I did send over the plan site. It's kind of hard to describe it when, there's no paperwork in front of you, but, yeah, we're gonna have the solar edge inverter, everything that's needed to run a solar system.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone from the public that?
You have to declare the public hearing open.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm declaring the public hearing open, and I would like to receive if we have any public comment. None?
I did receive one
Oh, you did? Oh,
via
that's right.
email from Finkel. They are in support of the solar installation at 930 Sims Road.
Thank you. And we declare the public hearing closed. Staff comments?
It is visible from the street. It does, but it's not going to, it's going to be one of those things you could put onto a historic building and take it off. So it's not really per se detracting from it, and it doesn't have historic roofing. So what would be the harm of it?
Okay.
Well,
And it's Absolutely flush against the existing slope of the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
It looked like it had saddle clips or something for the corrugated steel roof, is that my understanding? Yeah. Yeah.
Correct, there's a plan.
Okay, great. Do we have any board discussion?
Yeah, you had mentioned that it's on the east side of the roof, but the plans show the west side.
I believe, hold on, give me 1 second. I was pulling everything up, I closed it out because I was at 5:30 and then 6 o'clock rolled around, I was like, oh, they're just not gonna call me.
No, we just had a
Yes,
bunch
no,
of
you're
things in
correct.
front of
It
you.
is, so north. Yeah, it is what shows on the plan set.
Okay, so that north arrow is
I
correct.
believe that is the rest of
The west faces the road.
Yes, it does fit, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
they're gonna face the road.
just for clarification, we are deviating from that.
That's me.
From saying it shouldn't face the road?
Walk up the stairs.
Well, yes, but it,
It wouldn't function if it didn't.
right,
Well, I know, we were
Yes.
going to make exceptions because we,
Isn't there a big mountain on the west side that would shade the panels more than on
I'm
the
not
east side?
talking, I'm just saying, let's talk about what the matrix, I mean, we are allowing it now to be wherever it needs to be, regardless
Well,
if you see the road.
and that is
Because that is deviating from what we
You're right.
were saying before.
and that's a good point. And
I have no problem with it.
Mr. Ward brought up at the last meeting that we were, and I'm sorry if I'm paraphrasing, but that we were making allowances that were variance. Remember, and I really, that stuck with me for this last month, and we don't want to make a variance on anything. We do by accident sometimes. Is this, by allowing this because it's seen from the road, a variance in your,
Because it's seen from the road, we had to hold this public hearing.
okay?
I believe it's what that is what you're getting.
So, okay, just so I'm clear, because we do not want to make a variance on anything. So, just so that I'm clear, this is the purview of the board to make this decision about it.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I got a couple of thoughts. First of all, I think the application is really a good one. I mean, it's very detailed. This is a big installation, maybe bigger than we've had, I may be wrong. Is it unreasonable to think that maybe a ground installation could work, that's not quite as visible? You know, there are ground installations for the panels.
I don't think we wanted to do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think, I almost,
The problem with up there is there's not enough room. I mean, there's just not enough room to do ground ones, and then
Okay.
for them to have a yard. So the roof is really, that's why we said in Old Bisbee, it's probably best that they just be on the roof.
Yes, that was
I
the plan.
think so. And I like not building a structure just for the
Absolutely.
solar panels, and that the solar panels can, they're, 150 years ago or 200 years ago, chimneys were were a necessity, and no one worried about where they were located, but they added to the structure. This technology can be removed when the next technology comes along, and maybe the house continues to be historic. Ms. Green,
No,
it's not,
that's not Miss Green, that's Melanie,
oh, I'm sorry.
Escor.
You can just call me Melanie.
Okay.
Last name's so hard.
Okay, sorry, Melanie, this, looks like something that can be demounted, fairly easily, is that true?
Yes, correct. We were able to remove the solar panels if needed.
Okay. And this was the only alternative you found on the roof? The side away from the street didn't work, or how did how did you determine this was the side you wanted to do?
Typically, our installers go off of a shade report, so we go out there to the complete site survey, we look at the roof, and they create this whole, basically a table showing how much sun you're gonna get in each area, and they deem the part of the roof that's most appropriate, that they will get the most out of their panels to meet the requirements for our end, because we can't provide panels and not provide them a certain quality of, as energy, we have to be able to provide at least that much, because we sold them so much, so our sold production has to match what they're gonna be getting every year.
And do you know what the alternative would have been? I mean, was it close, or, I mean, are we?
Oh, no, they don't put that on, unfortunately, they don't give that information to me, they only put on here, let's see if I can find it. Shade report. Usually they actually have one, there's sometimes.
A thought or a suggestion, within 20 years, every house in Bisbee's gonna have solar on the roof. And there's gotta be a better way.
It's a reality that we have to face.
Well, I'm thinking, some other cities look at a community solar installation, and they're just part of it, and it can be remote, and you just buy into it, you don't have to have every damn house have solar panels on it. It's maybe something for the planning commission to look forward, looking in the future.
I think APS allows using that PPA.
Well, they don't like any solar panels, but that's too bad.
Yeah, that's a
APS is running our world lately.
corporation.
Okay, did you find that, or were you done with it?
I'm still looking for it,
Okay.
we went to.
I think we're okay dealing with the plan as submitted. Does anyone else on the board have a question? Ben?
Yeah, I don't see this application as being any different than the last 5 we've approved. The panels are flush against the roof, and that's, whether they're facing the street or not, I personally have never thought was a problem. I always want them to face the sun, so.
Yeah, I think that I might feel that same way.
Should make a motion?
Well, yeah, we can have a motion if you'd like.
Yeah. Everybody think what? Ben?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve application 2404 as presented.
No seconds.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All those against? Okay, so it's approved,
Yay,
and thank you for your time.
All right,
thank you guys.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
one.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
So, agenda item number 5, discussion of hydro panels. How did this come before us?
Yeah.
Because Miss Melanie wanted it to.
Because I asked politely.
That's
She
right,
asked
you're
so
Melanie Green, I
politely.
wasn't even paying attention.
No, this is sort of informational.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's information.
this is only informational, it's not asking you for any decision-making. I wanted to alert you to something that I think is pretty exciting, that might have impacted the DRB, but more importantly, what I want you to be aware of is this bit of information so that as people in Bisbee talk with you, especially your old Bisbee constituents, because there will be concerns, oh, do I have to go in front of the DRB, do I have to do this? So let me start with what's happening. I should tell you, I'm Melanie Green, and I'm the Executive Director of the Bisbee Science Exploration and Research Center, known as the Bisbee Science Lab. On the 15th of February, we'll have our monthly Pie in Sky event. It's an astronomy night where we get about 110 on average people coming. And we're also inviting an organization called Source Global. They have partnered with Local First, which may be more familiar to you. Local First is a nonprofit organization that's statewide, particularly around rural development. And Local First is a nonprofit qualified for a very large federal grant to but to make available these hydro panel systems in rural areas for free. And it was an effort to make potable water generation available to both those who really needed it, but also those who would just like to have it. And those are installed and warranted, installed and warranted by Source Global through this partnership. And it's funded through this grant that Local First applied for. When Source Global contacted us to host an informational ability for them, it occurred to me that if they're giving away free hydro panels, some people in Old Bisbee may be interested, and that might generate a DRB issue. So I contacted Nina contacted city staff, I spoke with Peter Gaffer, and what I understand was determined, I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, is these are ground-based panels that generate water out of the arid air. It's like a dehumidifier. And that water then, through condensation, is collected, it's filtered, and then it is, they add a mineral element for taste. And you'll see in your packet, it generates up to around 3 gallons of water a day, even in our driest period. So, but these are ground-based systems. There are 2 panels of 4 by 8 each. They are ground systems in the giveaway that they have going, but they can be mounted on roofs if people purchase them outside of this grant purpose. In talking with staff, it was determined that because they're ground-based, they would not require DRB approval. They would require inspection, however, even though there may not be a permit required. So the installation would be inspected to make sure that everything was properly in the ground and not subject to wind damage or bursting pipes or anything else that might happen. So Source Global is going to come on the 15th, provide information to the public about how they can acquire these free systems. I don't imagine there are very many people in Bisbee, Old Bisbee, who would be attracted to them because they're big. You know, it's 2 sheets of 4 by 8 panels. Not everybody has the yard space, but I can say from my point of view, I am going to apply for one. I live at 37D Laundry Hill with that big parking space. It's at the top of the hill, which would probably be an ideal place for one. So it's really about alerting you to this coming public announcement of these free units, and if people ask you, am I going to need DRB approval, I believe it's already been decided they will not. But they would have to be going to, not through the permitting process, but to arrange scheduling. I've alerted Source Global because they do the installations that they want to do that.
I have a question. So in total, is this a 4 by 16 foot?
It could be, or it could be, well, it's 2 4 by 8, so it could be 8 by 8.
Oh, but it has to, it would be these 2 panels.
Right,
Okay.
it requires 2 panels. There's no electric needed because the solar panels provide the power needed to produce this water.
And so this 16 or whatever, how many, I don't know how many, I can't think of how many square feet that is, probably, I don't know. That would generate 3 gallons of water potable water a day,
Yes,
and more in the humid times?
yes.
So, it was always my understanding that these, hydro generators, I guess, needed 20% humidity. Is this a new kind of?
I can't speak to the very details, but you will find in your packet, I think the header for the website for Source Global is there. You can definitely get more detailed information. But I would say if it's just interesting to you, come on the 15th at 519 Melody Lane. We start at 6. They'll be available. They're not making a formal presentation. They're setting up a table with all of their materials and taking applications. I'm sure they could explain the details of how this works. But you've seen in your material, they've been installing these in various places around the world with great success.
I do think that for staff, that if it goes on the roof, it ends up being
Yeah, she mentioned
Historic,
it goes on
yeah.
the structure, it has to
No.
yeah,
go.
but on the ground, but then also, it makes me think that the rainwater harvesting contraptions that we've been looking at lately might also not be purview to a review by the DRB.
I'd have to look at that, yeah.
Because we've been making judgment on things that aren't built onto the building.
Yeah, but I think the water tanks is a different because we don't want them to be in the front of the structure. Where these, you know what I mean? We don't want them to be an eyesore. I think the photo that you had, that was like, right as you look at the house, there was the water tank.
But that could happen though with the, with this 4x8.
Yeah.
Two
They're-
4x8 panels.
And they're, I think you'll see, I think I included pictures.
Yeah, you did.
They're flat.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
they're
flat, okay,
flat.
I missed that, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
okay, that makes a big difference.
yeah.
And again, I don't think there'll be a lot of interest in Old Bisbee, but if there's some, then I want you to be aware of
Yeah.
what this entails.
I do think that this is a poignant issue, and I think everybody in Bisbee should be aware of water issues, and this may be a gateway to that.
Well, I think the fact that we can introduce this to people for free who might not otherwise be able to pay for it is a real bonus at this phase of the project. And for those who might be interested in roof things, knowing that they would have to
They're not
come
flat.
through the usual
Right.
process, would find that, yes, they have to come through the normal system.
Yeah,
They're angled.
okay.
Are they angled a great deal, or are they,
They're angled.
does it give, I didn't look at it closely to know.
I'm guessing it has to be.
Maybe 30 degrees.
Okay,
Probably oriented towards the sun.
That's fairly.
Yeah, they're not flat on the ground.
okay. Good to know.
Ruby's hillside, they might be.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that.
No, it's pretty cool, but they are angled, about 30 degrees off the ground, as I can see.
how many
30 degrees is pretty steep.
Yeah, I mean,
people
you know,
around?
you can look at it here,
Yeah, I see it.
and then if you look at it on the roof,
Yeah.
and it's about 30.
Well, I think as long as we keep it off the roof at this point, it doesn't end up being our,
The free ones are only available to residential applicants, not commercial, and they cannot be mounted on the roof. That's part of the
okay,
agreement.
that's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, well, is there any more you want to present?
I'm only here to answer questions at this
Okay,
point.
thank you. Does anybody else have a question of Ms. Green?
No, I would comment that, you know, how many people go to the Safeway and buy a case of water every week? Theoretically, you say 2 to 3 gallons a day. Dry weather, I mean, that's way more than most people would consume in potable water, so it
And-
seems to have a lot of merit.
And if you're talking with people about it, this is available to people across Cochise County. It's not limited to Bisbee. They've installed 500 of the 800 that they have available. And so the 300 that are left are available anywhere in Cochise County, but they're coming to talk about it in Bisbee.
Okay. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thanks, Norman.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we move on to agenda item 6, approval of the January 10th Design Review Board meeting minutes. Anybody want to make a motion? Anybody have any comments?
I'll make a motion.
Anybody have
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 10th meeting.
I second.
In fact,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, great. And nay? No. Okay.
He's been feisty all evening.
I have, it was a long, long, long day.
Well, that's because he has a hammer.
Everything's a nail.
Yeah, I have a hammer, everything's in there. That's great.
That's cool.
Staff comments?
Anything from the staff?
Well, I have something I wanted to say, but I wanted to point out to you, because you said really 2404 was the first application. No, if you'll see 1, 2, and 3 were given administrative approval.
Oh, I see, okay, yeah.
01, 02, and 03 were given
Yeah, I see that here,
administrative approval.
5 and 6.
5, 6, and 7 were also.
Yeah, we're just whipping
We're getting a lot
through
of
these.
administrative approvals.
Huh?
We're getting a lot of administrative.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good thing. I think we're more of a, we're deciding kind of thing than just enforcement. You guys do a very good job with enforcement.
And I think that meeting that we just had, the working meeting, and developing that matrix, it might generate even more.
Thank you.
Because there's 3 of us that look at it too, and if we're iffy, we will reach out.
Yep.
And if you, I'm probably out of order, but if you have any comments about those matrices, would you please give them to me?
Yep.
Okay.
I did ask if they had it. But I do have one other thing I'd like to say. This is going to be my last meeting with the DRB. I have enjoyed my time with y'all very much, but I'm going to turn you over to Mr. Emmanuel. I still will be on the back end for up until September, and then he will take over the whole process.
Take the training wheels off.
but you're not going to leave, though.
Oh, no, I'm not leaving the city. I'm just leaving the DRB.
We won't let her go.
No.
No, yeah, she's changed it.
You know, it's gonna be one of those things that we understand exactly everything you said, but until you physically leave town, quit the city and everything else, we'll always call you first.
And absolutely as you should.
You're not going anywhere.
She's taking over this.
As Mr. Ward's wife says, she's taking over the city one desk at a time.
There you go.
But no, I'm not leaving the city, and I'll still be here for any questions. I'm still gonna be working with Emmanuel. I just won't be participating in the meetings anymore, or I'll still be sending things out up until September. And then he'll be doing the agendas by himself, the minutes by themselves, taking in the applications. We'll still be there to help him, because we don't want him to run off. But I just wanted to let the board know that I did enjoy my time with you. We've done some amazing things together, and I will miss you.
You've always been amazingly helpful, thank you. And my training wheels never came off. Also, I would like to mention, and I know this is a little out of order, but this is Mr. Ward's last
Yes, sir.
DRB meeting. I have had an amazing time working with you over the many years, the last few years, and I think we all owe you a debt of gratitude, and that you brought Mr. Rodriguez on board. He's an amazing guy, and I think it's a perfect legacy for you. And so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Joe.
Round of applause.
I like the direction our boat's headed.
Yeah, I think we have hiccups, but we'll get through it.
Mr. Gapp, I wanted to say something.
No, I interrupt. I was just gonna carry on from what Chair said about the matrix, and I personally want to thank him for doing it, because I stuck in with it. But I do think it's incredibly important that we all look at it, and that we convene another special meeting as soon as we can,
Yes.
because I think it opens up a lot of questions, and I think as we go forward, the purpose of this was to make us more consistent in our adjudications. And I think it's super important, it really lays it out in front of us. We have to think about it long and hard. I don't think it's gonna be an easy thing to get through, and nor it should be. But I do encourage my colleagues to take a look at it, and let's have another session.
Absolutely.
And again, I appreciate you to.
I'll send them out again and make sure that everybody knows to send comments, and then like, for future agenda items, I do want to hold another special session where you can approve the matrix, but I also have APS that'd like to come and speak to you about the, electrical or,
Okay.
what are those things? Thank you.
Would that be during a special session? Okay.
Yeah, because that way I don't have to hold 3 meetings in 1 month for them, and,
Right.
you know, have a special for just those, and then have a work session for them. If it's all right, I'll put that on the future agenda for that special that I can put together.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Me
Okay,
and-
yes, sir.
Me and Joe did attend a meeting with APS, and they are aware of what's going on, and they're willing to work with the historic district,
Okay,
and they, as well as with Tombstone and other historic districts.
We're not alone on that.
yeah, I would imagine.
So we gotta stick with our guns on that,
Hmm.
you know.
So thank you, that, good comment.
They have enough power as it is.
Yeah,
Just for FYI, we were just talking about how many administrative approvals you do. It's about 50-50 now. Looking at last year, we reviewed 61 applications of the DRB, and the total was
32.
132, so you know it's.
No, yeah,
And
132.
it isn't exact because there's a lag time, you know,
Right.
so one sheet has one list and it's sort of offset by a month really, but it does mean that you're approving better than half of, and saving us an awful lot of time, so we do appreciate it.
And I want you guys to know if we're ever in error, if you guys ever object to one of those, that you let us know,
Yeah.
you know, and we could be on the same page.
thank you.
We work for you guys
Yeah.
with this district, you guys are in charge, we're just, the enforcers.
Well, we've always felt that, and we felt, speaking for myself, that you have been understaffed and undersupported, you know, over the years. And I would hope that would someday change, but maybe not, it's a tiny town. But thank you so much, both of you, and Joe,
Thank you,
really,
Joe.
we're gonna miss you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Well, is there anything we want to put on next month's agenda?
I have your annual report.
Yeah, we'll be just.
I was trying to get you out of that.
No, I want to do it.
I already did that once for him.
She got me up with this one.
I was just trying to hustle it along.
Nina will circulate the report when Gaffarelli gets it finished, and take a look at it, please, and then it would be nice if we could just approve it at the
Okay.
next meeting. Or some comments, and then approve the commented
Okay.
version. That would be great.
Thank you. Motion?
Oh,
Peter motioned, who second?
please, to
Second.
adjourn, motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
No, second.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I gotta have some things.